In House of the Dragon episode 5, we saw Sir Criston Cole getting his heart broken, Daemon becoming a widower, Rhaenyra and Laenor having a classic Game of Thrones wedding where things go awry, Alicent making some big alliances, revealing a new look, and MELEYS, the Red Queen, a new dragon ridden by Rhaenys Targaryen. But what does it all mean? This video will explain the episode and all of the Easter eggs I spotted. This episode does a lot to set up the future conflicts, relationships, and alliances that we will see for the rest of the series. Spoiler warning if you have not yet seen it. The episode opens near RUNESTONE in the Vale, with Lady Rhea Royce, Daemon's wife. Daemon held no love for his wife, and has referred to her as his bronze bitch in previous episodes. Daemon had always viewed his arranged marriage as a political maneuver by his brother and the small council to distance him from King's Landing and the throne. This led Daemon to feel that his wife was limiting his potential rise, leading to him cruelly murdering her, adding to his long list of crimes. Initially, this leaves her paralyzed after her horse falls on her, but when she calls Daemon out for being unable to finish, he picks up a stone, and later we are told that her head was crushed after the fall. We've already seen Daemon fail to finish 2 or 3 times in the series, with Rhaenyra last episode and Mysaria in episode 1. This seems to hint that Daemon will never be satisfied. Even if he were to claim the Iron Throne, which is surely his goal, Daemon's personality will always leave him wanting more. With his lady wife dead, he stands to inherit RUNESTONE, and is now free to take a new wife that he deems more suitable to his station. Next up, we see OTTO Hightower leaving King's Landing. Last episode, he was fired as Hand of the King. OTTO explains to Alicent that once Viserys dies, there will surely be a succession crisis. The realm will not accept Rhaenyra as heir, and most will favour Alicent's son Aegon to succeed to the throne. OTTO warns that Rhaenyra will have no choice but to murder Alicent's children to ensure her claim is not challenged. Deep down, Alicent understands her father speaks the truth, and we see her coming to terms with this fact throughout the episode. Alicent encounters Larys Strong, the son of Lyonel Strong, who is the new Hand of the King. The pair speak in the God's Wood, and Larys gives off major Littlefinger and Varys vibes as a clever, scheming manipulator. Larys subtly informs Alicent that Rhaenyra was given a special remedy to prevent any unwanted pregnancies. Alicent feels betrayed by Rhaenyra, who lied to her on the matter, even after Rhaenyra swore on the life of her mother that she did not have sex. But Alicent still needs full confirmation of Rhaenyra's guilt, so she confronts Sir Criston Cole later in the episode, thinking that Rhaenyra's sworn sword would have witnessed any uncle-niece shenanigans. This betrayal of trust is what leads Alicent's actions throughout the episode, and she slowly reveals herself to be a player in the game, gathering allies to her cause and subtly announcing her opposition to Rhaenyra by wearing the green dress during the wedding scene. If you were confused why this was such a big deal, Larys Strong and his brother Harwin explain what this meant. Alicent is a Hightower, and her family rule from Oldtown, which is famous for a huge lighthouse known as the High Tower. When the Hightowers call their banners to war, the beacon glows green. So Queen Alicent wearing a green dress on this occasion is symbolic of her calling her banners and expressing her intentions to back her son against Rhaenyra in the coming years. The colour of her dress also becomes the name of her supporters, who are known as the Greens. Next, we get to see HIGHTIDE, the seat of House Velaryon. Viserys and Rhaenyra have come to arrange a marriage between House Velaryon and House Targaryen. They are greeted by Laenor Velaryon, Joffrey Lonmouth, and Laena Velaryon. Corlys himself does not greet the king. Instead, he awaits Viserys atop his driftwood throne in the Hall of the Nine, which is likely a reference to the 9 great voyages of Corlys Velaryon. In his youth, Corlys travelled all over Planetos on 9 great sailing expeditions. From these exploits, he made a name for himself as a great sailor, and he was also able to bring back rare spices and treasure, which enabled House Velaryon to become the wealthiest house in Westeros. We can see some of the trinkets and the wealth on display from these voyages throughout the room. HBO did have plans to create a spin-off series following a young Corlys Velaryon as he undertakes his 9 great voyages. But news on that front has been quiet for some time. Perhaps at the end of Season 1, HBO will announce some information on the potential spin-off series. In the Hall of the Nine, Corlys and Viserys haggle over the terms of the marriage. Corlys wants the Velaryons to rule. He feels his wife, Rhaenys Targaryen, was unjustly put aside during the Council of 101 that we saw at the start of the series, where the great lords of Westeros voted in favour of Viserys to succeed the Iron Throne over Rhaenys. In Corlys's mind, Rhaenys is the true ruler of Westeros, and it is only right that her son and their future generations rule Westeros. Corlys also mentions that it is custom for any children that Laenor and Rhaenyra have should bear the Velaryon last name, and this is where Viserys actually stands up to Corlys, stating that once their eldest child ascends to the throne, they will take the last name Targaryen. He does this to ensure the continued reign of House Targaryen. Viserys spends a lot of time this episode considering his legacy and what he will be remembered for. If he were to allow the Velaryon name to rule Westeros, he would surely be remembered as the king who lost the throne and would be considered a failure. Later in the episode, it is clear that Viserys wants to be remembered for ensuring the future success of House Targaryen and hopes that the union between Rhaenyra and Laenor will usher in a new age of dragons. However, the chaos of the wedding scene later in the episode acts as a metaphor for Viserys' rule. Everything appears to be going well on the surface, but there are secrets and plots that boil below, ultimately leading to war and violence. Rhaenyra and Laenor come to an agreement on the beach. Each will perform the duties expected of husband and wife, but they will be free to pursue extramarital relationships. Rhaenyra with Sir Criston, and Laenor with Joffrey Lonmouth. Sir Criston Cole gets a lot of development this episode. He confesses his love for Rhaenyra, offering to escape with her over the narrow sea to Essos, where they could be free to wed and do as they like, without the burdens of Rhaenyra's position and inheritance bearing down on the relationship. But Rhaenyra makes it clear that she desires the throne, and tells Cole of her arrangement with Laenor, that the two could be together in a different way, with Cole as her secret consort. But this breaks Sir Criston's heart. He feels betrayed by Rhaenyra. He broke his Kingsguard vow to be with her, which in the best case scenario is a death sentence. In the worst case, he would be gelded and sent to the wall. This betrayal leaves Criston Cole spiraling down a dark and suicidal path. Later in the episode, Alicent gets Sir Criston to confess that he slept with Rhaenyra, which confirms Larys's information. The knight begs Alicent to spare him from torture or gelding and give him a quick, clean death. But to Cole's surprise, Alicent dismisses him and keeps his secret. By doing this, she ensures Sir Criston Cole's loyalty in the future. Additionally, with the confirmation of Larys's information, Alicent has seemingly found an ally in the clubfoot. Viserys' sickness has spread, infecting his entire arm. The actor Paddy Considine confirmed that the illness is a form of leprosy that is slowly killing him. Each time he cuts himself on the Iron Throne, it gets worse and worse. Viserys knows that the sickness will kill him sooner rather than later, and this is why he has such a concern for his legacy. We see Sea Smoke and a new dragon, MELEYS, flying to King's Landing for the wedding. MELEYS is the mount of Rhaenys Targaryen. She was known as the Red Queen for her scarlet scales and pink wing membranes. In her youth, she was the swiftest dragon in Westeros, but is now beginning to grow a bit older and slower. Expect to see MELEYS more and more as the seasons progress. All of the dragons that we have seen so far have a very distinct design, each being almost a different breed of dragon, in the same way you get different breeds of dogs. But Sea Smoke and MELEYS look very similar to Daenerys' dragons that we see in the main series, so perhaps her dragons are from the same breed as these dragons. Next we get to the wedding, where we see Jason Lannister again, who was previously turned down by Rhaenyra. We also see Gerald Royce, who has come to King's Landing to accuse Daemon of murdering his cousin. Just remember all of these grievances and offences that Rhaenyra and Daemon have committed. Most of them will come back to bite them later in the series. Viserys starts to give a speech about his grand plans of restoring House Targaryen and ensuring his legacy, but he is interrupted by Alicent entering in the green dress. Basically, she is declaring her opposition to Rhaenyra. There is a deep cut from the books, with this dwarf playing in the band. In the book Fire and Blood, which is written like an in-world history book, we are given multiple sources for each of the events that have played out. Most of the more salacious events in Fire and Blood provided by the account of Mushroom, who is a dwarf court jester. So this character might be the showrunners subtly nodding to that. The whole dancing scene is a metaphor for the Dance of the Dragons, which is the oncoming civil war. We have Rhaenyra and Laenor, Rhaenyra and Daemon and LAENA, all dragon riders dancing together. We see Laena Velaryon, Corlys's daughter, starting to pursue Daemon, setting up that the two might become an item in future episodes. She seems headstrong and self-assured, like Rhaenyra, and being a Velaryon, she would be an appropriate match, both in blood and station to Daemon. Right before the fight breaks out, we see Daemon speaking with Rhaenyra in High Valyrian, and Daemon reminds Rhaenyra that it is her choice who she marries, and she needs but say the word and the two would flee to Dragonstone and wed. But before anything more can happen, we get the fight. Joffrey Lonmouth, who is secretly Laenor Velaryon's lover, figures out that Ser Criston is Rhaenyra's consort. He tells Cole that they should swear to guard Rhaenyra and Laenor and their secrets, in a I know your secret and you know mine kind of way. This revelation greatly angers Ser Criston and adds to his feeling of betrayal. Rhaenyra has let their secrets slip. Clearly, in Ser Criston's mind, Rhaenyra does not truly comprehend the weight of the secret and the impact it has on his life were it to get out. This exchange leads to Ser Criston brutally beating Joffrey to death in front of horrified onlookers. This event happens a little differently in the books, with Ser Criston killing Joffrey as part of a tourney. In all the chaos, Rhaenyra is knocked to the ground, and Lionel Strong gives the signal to his son Harwin to rescue the princess. These two events seem to hint that Harwin will replace Ser Criston Cole as Rhaenyra's protector with benefits. It does make me wonder if Lionel Strong has tasked his sons to ally with Rhaenyra and Alicent, hedging his bets for the oncoming civil war. For his actions and broken oaths, Ser Criston enters the Godswood to commit suicide, but before he can, Alicent stops him, and this seems to solidify their alliance. The episode does a great job of setting up some of the alliances that we will see moving forward through the series, and how even the smallest of events will impact something later. But what did you think of the episode? Comment below anything I missed.